Hey guys, hope you're well. I am just gonna walk around this incredible French resort, which is like a kind of near the south of France, but it's slightly inland. No sea view here, but it's a beautiful place. And the reason I'm doing this YouTube video is it's actually one of the most asked about questions, which is how do I invest in a company? Like, what do I look for before I invest in a company? By the way, I'm just next to some massive pool and a cave looking thing, so I'm just going to move out the way in case it's too much background noise, but I think it's quite nice. You can have a little peek here. So pretty, eh? It's February, so it's not exactly the warmest. I'm not going in, but it's still much better than the UK where I used to live. Anyone who's watching this for the first time, thank you for being on this channel. I am an investor. I am someone who has been going from investing in property to the financial trading, and now I invest in companies. Plus, as a bonus, I teach everybody everything I do because I really find so much purpose in educating others in being financially more savvy, especially being a female. I am the world's first female educator in financial trading, and I love that stat. But I also hate it. I hate it because it's such a late statement in life. 2012, by the way, these are not real, but 2012 is when I became the world's first educator in the financial trading market. That's a bad stat because the world needs to have had more female dominance in financial markets, but we don't. So here I am trying to do my bit for the world, and I'm helping a lot of guys as well. Don't get me wrong, we have more men on Fortune Academy as mentees than we do women, but we've definitely increased with women. We went from 10% to now 40% women in our group. So I love the effect I'm having, and that's why I do what I do. But one of the most asked about questions right now is, what do I actually look for in a company when I'm going to invest? I'll give you some key points, because to go through the details is going to be very long. I probably won't be able to do it on a YouTube video. I will do a workshop on this one day, but let's just give you the heads up. Number one, look at the executive team, right? Understand, first of all, as a VC, you have to have a niche. You can't just invest in everything. I don't invest in every company. I need to understand like I won't go into fashion clothing, or I won't invest in retail clothing, right? That's not my thing. I won't invest in a gym. I'm not interested in those industries. I'm interested in things that excite me. Fintech, because I've got that. Education technology, that's what I've got too. I love anything in healthcare because I had a healthcare background too, so I understand that. I understand the dynamics, and I think it's amazing, and it's never going to go out of fashion. It's big money there. Plus, it will be game changing for the world. Plus, I also look at green energy. So there's going to be those niches that I'm obsessed with, right? So when I look at a company, first thing I look at is executive team. Can the founder sell you the dream about and the vision of their company? If they cannot, then it's really not worth the investment, because they're going to be the most passionate about the company than you. And you as an investor have to be someone, me as an investor, I have to be more of a skeptic. I've got to assume the worst, because the founder is always going to overshoot when it comes to, you know, the projections, the future, etc. So I look at the executive team majorly about the founder, and I need to know what their exit plan is. Like, what are they planning to do when they have this investment? Are they going to exit in 5 years, 10 years, or is it a 30-year plan? You know, like, I need to know that, because if it's too soon and they want to just go in with, you know, if they, for example, I had a 2.5 million investment request and they wanted to exit in 5 years, and that means the whole team just leave. Now, you know, that's basing that everything is going to change massively in 5 years. Not every time. That's a risky investment, because if the founder is planning to leave that soon, I'm thinking that the whole of the management team will also look for a payout, and you don't always get magic in a short period. 5 years may not go as planned. So I would rather have a longer runway when it comes to how long are these people planning to stay in the business. So that's another one. Then you want to look at the business model. Like, what is the revenue model? How does this company make money per client? Like, you should be able to quantify per client how much money one client is worth and over what period of time. Then you want to look at their margins. That's part of revenue model, right? So the next thing I want to look at is, you know, what are they going to use the money for? Because I would only want them to put money into an existing project that, you know, a lot of people invest with milestones, which is fine. That means they want to go on to phase 2, phase 3 of their project. But you got to be careful of putting money into a company that has never done what they're going to do with that money. For example, someone was going to open up a Latin America branch. They've got no presence in Latin America, and yet they were going to just randomly take the money and just go to Latin America. They need to have a real strategic, okay, this is who's going to be in Latin America. This is a team, like give me something to work with. But if it's completely like, oh, we'll figure it out, we just need the money to recruit people, that's scary. So you've got to have a very clear plan and always be able to justify what you're going to do with that money every step of the way. Ideally put it into something that works. So for example, if you've got a digital marketing spend that what each client will cost you in ad spend, then the investment can be used very specifically into a tested sales funnel, and that makes sense. But you'll be surprised how many companies just want the money to line their pockets and buy new shiny stuff for the company that they personally don't want to fork out. You want to also look at how much cash is in the bank. What's the operating cost? What is the cash in the bank? And therefore what you then find out is the runway, like how many months have they got to survive for, if they don't get this investment, how desperate are they? If there's anything less than 6 months, be worried, because that's not a very cash flow effective company. That's scary. They could easily lose their money if you invest. So you got to look at these things. And last but not least, you want to look at, how do you feel, the gut feeling. This sounds crazy, but it's not crazy. Most people go with the gut feeling, but in business, people get so number based. They get so focused on the figures, and honestly, if it doesn't tick boxes for you on a gut feeling level, just don't go for it. You've got to really be excited about this. And that's why when I speak to other investors like me, they'll say, look, we've got plenty of money to invest, and there's so much money in the world to invest into projects, companies. So that's the problem with this world. There's not enough good companies out there that I think can get the investment. So if you're a company owner out there looking at how can I get investment? Look, don't be a startup. I don't invest in startups because I don't know if you can even run a business, okay? So if you're a complete startup and you've just got an idea and you just want money, that's not what the Billionaire Project can do for you. But if you are somebody from an existing, maybe you've been working in fintech for many years and then you've got a great executive team, and you're right, that's the only time I'd look at a startup, when you've been working with other projects that have made a lot of money and now you want to come and do your own. I know you know what to do and what it takes. So if you've been working with other startups, then I will work with you, but don't just come to me with an idea. Normally that's something I wouldn't invest in, but I do love companies that are already making money but not making tons and tons of money. So not anything less than 10 million revenue. I'm very interested because you're very early and I can help you and I really want to invest in you. So if that's you, then make sure you're part of the Billionaire Project. Click on the link below, and actually there's a free form here that you can write down your details, talk about your company and everything, and it goes straight to me and my team, and we look at it. I will look at every application that is good, and then we start discussions about how we can get the money into your company. So there you go. That's my process of thinking. Look, there is a lot more to it, obviously, than just what I've said on a few minutes on YouTube, but the point is I will be doing a workshop, and this is what the Billionaire Project's all about. So if you're interested in the Billionaire Project, then message below if you're interested in just being part of it. Or if you are a company owner, then there is another form for you to fill in. And if you want investment, you have to be a company that is already making money. You don't have to make millions yet, but show me some track record, right? Some track record of positive cash flow. You cannot be loads of debt and negative cash flow. That's not for me, but I want you to get to cash flow positive, and then I'm very interested in investing. It's just a safer risk model for me. So there you go, guys. Hope that made sense. I will be off now. I'm just going to head back. This place is so pretty. I'm going to find George and Coco, and I will see you soon. If you've got any requests on video topics that you want me to cover, and anything, anything from investing to, I don't know, mindset, which I love, as you know, then just comment below. Thank you, guys, and keep following me on social. I get so much interaction from you guys on Instagram mainly, and then LinkedIn is very professional, so I love all of the stuff that happens there. Instagram and LinkedIn are my two favorites. So thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye.